Hey guys, and welcome back to another flashlight review. Today I'm going to be doing a quick little review of the S8s, and this is the Convoy S8 with the CSLNM1 emitter. Okay, and this is one of my favorite budget tactical flashlights out there. I thought the S6, some of you may have watched my last videos, review of the S6, I thought that was a big deal, but this is as tactical as you can get with Convoy. It's basically a more tactical version of the S6, and Convoy were kind enough to send me free samples of the S8's review in this video, including a bunch of prototypes that I would like to hear what you guys, some of your feedback as well about those. And I own a ton of lights, and I just keep coming back to this 18650 form factor. It's just so versatile. You get that extended runtime, increased output, and it's also very pocketable. I actually set my S8 to the 100% mode, or just leave the mode memory off and have it start on 100% with all the other 3 lower modes in there, just to turn it into a budget tactical light. So in terms of what you get with the S8, this is it besides a lanyard and the battery. If you select that, it's very bare bones and minimalistic. Okay, here are some other lights I thought I'd compare to as well with the S6. Some of you may have seen this one as well, and there's a lot of similarities performance-wise between the S6 and the S8. Okay, same reflector, pretty much the same driver, just the body is a little bit different. As you can see, the S8's got more of this tactical styling, and you've got the S2 Plus, which is more of like your generic starter 18650 that you can get from Convoy. It's a classic. The reflector is not as deep. Okay, the S6 and the S8 have a reflector that's twice as deep as the S2 Plus, so you're going to get a lot more throw. So these probably more tailored for long distance performance. This one's for medium sort of distance performance, I'd say. So here's a little close-up of the S8. Nice little design, neat design with tactical styling. As I mentioned before, knurling has this square pattern on it, and it is grippier as well, I think, than the S2 Plus and the S6. It's just over 12 centimeters long, so very easy to fit in your pocket. Some cooling fins here in the head. That's one thing that's different. I also like the fact that Convoy have included this stainless steel clip, or that we even get one at all, because you don't usually get one on a lot of Convoy flashlights. It's not a deep carry one, but you can fit a variety of other clips on it, unlike the S2 Plus and S6, which take these sort of thinner clips. Okay, so you can even put a deep carry clip on here, but this one here, I think it's perfect for tactical usage, just so that the tail cap sticks out of your pocket. You can grab it out of your pocket a lot more easily without having to rummage around in there. Okay, the LED, like I mentioned before, is the CSLNM1. Okay, little look, it's a 1mm by 1mm LED. So very small dye surface, which is optimized for long range performance. It doesn't produce a whole lot of light, about 700 lumens, not a whole lot of spill either. But in terms of that pencil thin spotting beam that just goes on and on, it's a fantastic LED. And you got the same reflector, like I mentioned before, as found in the S6. It's a 2 centimeter deep reflector. It's slightly wider than the S2 Plus's reflector as well. And yeah, it's tailored towards long range performance. I like how the bezel also has a bunch of cutouts here as well, so you can tell whether the light is switched on or not. And you can even use this to potentially break window. The edges are pointy, but they're not sharp. UI, quick little demo of the UI. Basically switch the light on with a full click, and you half press to go cycle through the other options. Now that's one mode grouping. There's another 11 modes that you can select in this light. I'm not going to go through that in this video, but you can search that online with all Convoy lights. A lot of them anyway. You just press that back button 20 times while the light is on, and you can actually select. It will blink out the different modes. So you'll find that on the Convoy website if you want to know a bit more. So I wanted to go through some performance data with you all. And firstly, I've got the ceiling mounts test at 100%, and you can see here it starts out at 100% with the NM1, the S8 with the NM1, and it steps down almost immediately, and you can see there's a sort of slower step down up until 2 minutes. So you've still got about 80 to 90% performance on up until the 2-minute mode, until it steps down quite drastically to about 60% of its output, which I think is still pretty good. But I have to say the light gets pretty hot after a few minutes of use. But even if you look at that 30-second mark on the graph, you're still looking at 90 to 100% of output for a small host like this. I think that's really, really impressive. Let's move on now to a second ceiling bounce test that I ran. This is on the medium mode, and you can see that it is at 35% outputs. Pretty much runs at 100% sustained output throughout the entire test, so up to the 15-minute mark. It does step down really, really slightly. I'd say maybe 95% to 100% of output throughout that whole test, and I think that's really important to have a sustained output mode like this, because that's your daily driver. That's something that mode is what you're going to be using most of the time when you turn on this light, not the 100% mode. Here are a bunch of tests I ran on my Opal Light Master Pro, and I know what you're here for. Look at the throw figures here on the 100% mark, 428 meters of throw. Absolutely incredible. With a little bezel like this, I almost couldn't believe the figures myself. Retested it a few times. These are switch on figures, but really impressive. Even on the 35% mode, you get 351 meters of throw. I don't know many other, or if any other flashlights of this size and this bezel that are able to throw as far and compete in terms of price as well with the S8. So really super impressive. Nothing to call home for in terms of the CRI, but this LED is designed for visibility. It's not designed for color recognition. I'd say when you're using this light, you've got mostly just that hot spot in the center. You do have some spill, but it's mostly visible when you're on the higher mode, so 35 to 100% mode. Otherwise, it's a lot of throw. It's great for long distance spotting. Some considerations, I'll name just a few I think you should be aware of. There's no onboard charging, so you're going to have to get an external charger or an 18650 with its own USB-C charging port. You've also got to keep in mind that it's a small host, so it does get hot on 100%. And with that 5 amp driver, it really pushes this host to the max, squeezes out the maximum output and throw. I like that. And if it gets a little bit hot, for me, I just step that light down and switch it to a lower mode. For beginners, though, this might be a little bit annoying. So you might want to go in there and select a mode that doesn't have the 100% output mode in there if you don't need it. There's also no momentary mode. I think that would have been the cherry on the cake with this and really be able to call it a tactical light. And I wonder if anyone out there thinks the same as me and would like to see this included as well with some Convoy lights. Let me know so I can pass it on to Simon. I think if there's more feedback, then there's some demand. He's more likely to maybe create something like that, add that into some of his newer lights. And the good thing though is that, again, you can select groupings that start out at 100% or just the 100% grouping mode full stop. And in my opinion, that turns it into a budget tactical flashlight, because you know what that light's going to turn on to 100% every time you switch it on. So overall, I think Convoy has nailed it with the S8. If you want a more tactical looking version of the S6 with the crenulated bezel, grippier knurling, the cooling fins and clip, I think this is really the best value budget tactical light out there. So check the link in the description if you are interested. I've put a bunch of links in there that you can purchase this light from, and including Simon's official Convoy store there on AliExpress. If you have questions as well, just leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you found the video helpful, do me a favor and click the like button, because it just helps my video get out to more people, to make more of them. And if you want to keep up to date with the latest flashlight news and reviews, make sure you subscribe. Got the Convoy S8 here on the highest mode. This is with the CSLNM1.TG. Very impressive throw. As you can see, the spill is quite limited. Most of those lumens are just coming through the center of the beam, and this is probably one of the longest throwing little tube lights I have. Super impressive. You can see all into those trees, underneath the trees as well. We just go through the different modes. That's the lowest mode. You can't really see it too much. It's 0.1% just at the bottom of the frame. Okay, 1% here. Again, decent sort of spot beam, but there's no spill, no usable spill really. Third mode. First, second, third. Even the third mode reaches down the back. Fourth. Great thing about these fourth modes as well, which is around 30% output. This is able to sustain that output, and sufficient to see all the way down the back, even a couple hundred meters. Okay, highest mode is just so impressive though. Look at that.